You know that feeling when someone walks into a room and the whole vibe just shifts? People sit up a little straighter, eyes turn, and there's this quiet anticipation before they've even opened their mouth. We're totally conditioned to think this is some kind of innate magical gift, right? Like an aura you're either born with or you're not. But what if I told you that the aura of a truly charismatic leader is actually just a highly specific, learnable set of mechanical cues? Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to completely deconstruct the hidden architecture of high-status body language.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The mechanics of charisma. 2. Mastering your physical space. 3. The power of stillness. And 4. Authentic leadership versus toxic dominance.
All right, Section 1, the mechanics of charisma. Let's look at this hidden architecture and completely shift how we view social status.
Okay, let's dive right into this. There was a super fascinating discussion on Reddit recently that unpacked this exact phenomenon, and one contributor just hit the nail on the head. They wrote, "It's not magic, it's mechanics. And once you see the patterns, you can't unsee them." Honestly, it is time to bust the myth that charisma is purely genetic. It's really just a biological and sociological broadcast, and the cool part is, you have complete control over the antenna.
When you really break it down, sociological analysis reveals that body language acts as the nonverbal alphabet of power and respect. When a true leader enters a space, they aren't relying on brute force or barking aggressive demands to command authority. Instead, they use symbolic persuasion. By mastering this nonverbal alphabet, they're literally speaking directly to the subconscious minds of everyone around them. They naturally project an image that just says, "I am in control of this situation."
Moving on to Section 2, Mastering Your Physical Space. It's time to claim your territory. Now, you've probably noticed the stark contrast in territoriality before. Low-status body language is all about shrinking, crossing your legs tightly, keeping your arms pinned, kind of apologizing for existing. But high-status individuals, they do the exact opposite. They stretch out and claim their environment. They'll stand with their feet shoulder-width apart, maybe casually rest an arm on an empty chair, and keep their chin perfectly parallel to the ground. That chin placement is absolutely crucial. Tilting it down signals submission, but tilting it way too high signals arrogance. Keeping it parallel, that just reads as calm, present confidence.
And let's look at how this builds with specific gestures, particularly one called steepling. This is when you touch your fingertips together while keeping your palms apart. It kind of looks like a pyramid or a church steeple. This is actually one of the absolute most powerful signs of self-confidence and deep concentration out there. Leaders and negotiators use this gesture to send a silent but incredibly clear message. I am absolutely confident in my information and my position. It's a total assertion of intellectual control, but without even an ounce of physical aggression. Now look, if you're naturally introverted or anxious, taking up this kind of space might feel entirely wrong at first. As an author named Alex from Your Tango vulnerably shared, "My name is Alex and I specialize in being awkward. I learned that body language both reflects and signals self-respect. This is a huge takeaway for us. It is totally okay if these expansive cues feel weird when you first try them. The mechanics of taking up space don't just signal to other people that you respect yourself. The actual physical act signals to your own brain that you are worthy of respect." That brings us to Section 3, the power of stillness. Because sometimes doing absolutely nothing is the ultimate power move. Think about it. Frantic movements, rushed walking, snapping your head around, constantly fidgeting. Those things tell the room that the environment is controlling you. Stillness dictates the exact opposite. You move deliberately. You speak at a relaxed, caring tempo. You minimize the fidgeting and that nervous over-nodding we all do sometimes. And most importantly, you say what needs to be said, and then you just embrace the silence instead of over-explaining, because that silence is exactly where the power lives. But, this brings up a pretty massive challenge, especially when it comes to eye contact. How exactly do you hold a steady power gaze without coming across as intensely intimidating or aggressive? In everyday conversation, our eyes usually bounce between the other person's eyes and their mouth. A power gaze, however, focuses on a triangle between the eyes and the mid-forehead, which can create a slight commanding psychological pressure. So how do we balance that pressure? Well, a Reddit commenter framed the solution perfectly. They said, "I'm not a sociopath. Good eye contact follows a detail-oriented belief. It helps me notice cool things for us to vibe or connect on. That right there is the secret. It's all about intent." High-status eye contact is never about an unblinking or aggressive stare-down. It's rooted in genuine curiosity and a desire to connect. You're giving them your undivided, unhurried attention. And when you do finally break eye contact, you do it slowly, downward first, then to the side. Never darting away quickly like you've been caught doing something wrong.
All right, let's head into our final section, authentic leadership versus toxic dominance.
There's this super common misconception out there that in order to be respected, you have to be stoic, cold, and entirely devoid of a sense of humor. People are always asking, does smiling ruin your authority? Does it just make you look like a pushover?
The answer lies in a fascinating sociological concept called warm dominance. You see, true modern leadership isn't about physical intimidation. It's definitely not about pounding your fist on a desk. Warm dominance is having a presence that undeniably fills the room, but pairing that presence with empathetic listening and a soft, gentle smile. An appeasing, nervous smile just to make people like you, that lowers your status. But a well-timed, confident smile from someone who is deeply comfortable in their own skin, that acts as a highly valued social reward. It literally makes people feel fundamentally safe and powerful, just by being in your presence.
And this brilliantly illustrates the clear divide between true leadership and fragile arrogance. Charismatic leadership utilizes open palms and calm listening, while toxic dominance relies on pointing fingers and blaming others. Authentic leaders keep their head parallel to the ground to show equality, while the toxic dominators tilt their chin way too high. The authentic leader utilizes warm dominance and takes responsibility, while the toxic boss frantically overjustifies their mistakes because their status is entirely superficial.
And here's the thing, people are incredibly adept at sniffing out that superficiality. Take that old sales trick of repeating someone's name over and over to force a connection. As one user pointed out, that is the first thing I think. This person is simple-minded and thinks they're pulling a fast one on me because of some sales pamphlet they read. You really can't just run surface-level plays. If you're just mimicking body language without any authentic substance backing it up, people will see right through it and expose you as manipulative.
So, what's the game plan? How do we bridge the gap between just mimicking these cues and actually becoming the person who naturally displays them? It's what we call an outside-in transformation. Step 1 is indeed practicing these high-status physical mechanics, kind of using them as a temporary crutch. Step 2 is a really cool psychological phenomenon. By practicing this, you actually impress yourself first, which starts to build real self-confidence. Step 3 is finding your center, where these mechanics no longer feel like a performance, but get fully internalized into an authentic identity. And finally, in Step 4, status stops being a trick you perform and becomes a natural byproduct of your own personal growth and success. Ultimately, you just can't project true self-worth outwardly if it doesn't exist privately. As highlighted in our sources today, it is so easy to put on a public show, but true respect radiates from an aura of genuine self-love. You can't fake that if you treat yourself poorly when no one is watching. By mastering the mechanics of your physical space and the incredible power of stillness, you're laying the groundwork for a deeply authentic transformation. So, the next time you walk into a room, ask yourself, is my body language reacting to the environment, or is it quietly commanding it?